Alright, folks, let's play a little game. If you've got some loose change lying around, grab a penny, any penny. Go ahead, I'll wait. Now, imagine that little copper coin could be worth over $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, it's not as crazy as you think. Today, we're diving into the shocking world of rare coins, and more specifically, the 2003 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about spending on a pack of gum could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's right, $1,100,000 for a single penny. So, how does an everyday coin become a collector's dream? What makes this particular penny so special? And most importantly, could you have one of these $1 million coins sitting in your pocket right now? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and trust me, you won't want to miss this. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it doesn't have a little letter like D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. Now, normally, that wouldn't mean much. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies have extremely rare errors that make them incredibly valuable. We're talking about misprints, off-center strikes, double dies, and sometimes even pennies struck on the wrong type of metal. And when collectors get wind of these rare mistakes, they're willing to pay big bucks to add them to their collections. And now, you might be thinking, okay, that's cool and all, but how do I know if I've got a rare one? Great question. Let's break it down. Key features that make this penny worth a fortune. The $1 million jackpot. Some 2003 no-mint Mark pennies were struck with a double die error, meaning parts of Lincoln's face or the lettering on the coin appear slightly doubled. It's kind of like a blurry image but on a coin. If you spot this, you might just be holding a small fortune. The weirder, the better. Another rare variation happens when the coin wasn't properly centered in the press, causing the design to be off-kilter. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Some collectors love these odd-looking mistakes and will pay thousands, sometimes even millions, for them. In some rare cases, pennies get struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. If you have a 2003 Lincoln penny that's significantly lighter or heavier than normal, you might want to get it checked out. When I first got into coin collecting, I found a weird-looking penny in my change. I was convinced I had hit the jackpot. I spent hours squinting at it under a magnifying glass, comparing it to images online, and even taking it to a coin dealer. Turns out, it was just really, really dirty. But hey, you live and learn, right? And now, every time I get change, I always check my pennies, because you never know when you might stumble across one worth a fortune. Now, let's talk numbers. If you've got a regular 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, it's worth, well, a penny. But if you have one of these rare error coins, you could be looking at some serious cash. Minor errors might sell for $50 to $500. Significant errors could go for $5,000 to $50,000, and that one legendary perfect condition error coin that recently sold for $1.1 million? That's what we're all hoping to find. Conclusion: so, next time you're about to toss a penny into a tip jar or leave it on the sidewalk, take a second look. Because that little copper coin could be the key to an unexpected windfall. And if you're lucky enough to find a rare 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, well, let's just say you might be booking a vacation real soon. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more rare coin tips coming your way, and who knows? The next video might just help you find another $1 million penny. Hey, have you ever found a penny on the ground and just walked right past it, thinking, meh, it's just a penny? Well, today, I'm about to make you rethink every penny you've ever seen, because somewhere out there, sitting in someone's change jar or lost between the couch cushions, there's a 1985 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yep, you heard that right, over $1 million for a single penny. And the craziest part? It looks just like any other penny in your pocket right now. So, grab your piggy bank, shake out those old coat pockets, and let's dive into what makes this little copper coin so insanely valuable. Spoiler alert, you might just be rich and not even know it, alright? So let's break this down. Most pennies have a little letter under the date, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But some 1985 pennies? No letter at all. Just blank. And that's where the magic happens. This missing mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which usually adds no mint mark by default. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these coins were made with rare errors that make them insanely valuable. We're talking double die obverse, off-center strikes, and the ultimate jackpot, the wrong metal composition. If you find one of these rare error pennies in pristine condition, you're looking at a fortune. Wait. A penny made of the wrong metal? Yup. In 1982, the US Mint switched from 95% copper pennies to mostly zinc with just a thin copper coating. But every now and then, a few pennies slip through with the wrong metal mix. If your 1985 penny somehow got made with more copper than intended, congratulations, you're now the proud owner of a tiny, round gold mine. Now, let me tell you something that still haunts me to this day. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, paying for my coffee. The cashier handed me some change, and I noticed an older-looking penny, kinda shinier than usual, a little thicker. And what did I do? I tossed it into the tip jar like a generous fool. A week later, I got into coin collecting and learned about valuable pennies. I went back to that gas station, stared at the tip jar like it held the meaning of life, but, of course, it was gone. Someone else had probably taken it, and who knows? Maybe they walked away with $1 million penny while I walked away with regret. Okay, so now you're probably digging through your couch cushions, but how do you know if you have the penny? Here's what to look for. First things first, check under the date. If there's no D or S, you're on the right track. Look for any doubling of the letters or design, an off-center strike, or an oddly thick rim. If you have a kitchen scale, weigh it. A normal 1985 penny should be 2.5 grams. But if it's closer to 3.1 grams, you might just have one of the rare copper ones. If you think you have a valuable one, don't just take a guess. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC, the top coin grading services. Because condition matters, a shiny, uncirculated 1985 penny is worth way more than a worn-out one that's been through a million vending machines. Let's talk numbers, because that's the fun part. Now we're talking hundreds to thousands of dollars. A 1985 penny with that rare copper composition? Well, the last known sale of one was over $1.20 million. That's a life-changing amount of money for something most people wouldn't even bother picking up off the sidewalk. Point 1. Pennies are not always just pennies. 2. Always check your change. Seriously, don't be like me. And 3. You might be sitting on $1 million coin right now without even knowing it. Go through your penny jar, check your old coin rolls, and if you find a 1985 no mint mark penny that seems different, get it checked. And if you want to hear more about rare coins worth big money, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment if you've ever found a weird coin in your change. Who knows? Maybe your next cup of coffee is actually worth a mansion. Hey there, fellow coin collectors and curious minds. Have you ever dug through your spare change and wondered, could I be holding on to a fortune? Well, today, we're talking about a coin that might just make you scream, wait. What? That's right, the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny. A tiny little copper coin that looks like any other, but if you've got the right one, it could be worth an eye-popping $1.3 million. That's not pocket change, that's life-changing money. I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny worth over $1 million? That's got to be a myth. But nope. This isn't some urban legend, it's real, and I'm going to tell you exactly why this little penny is worth so much, how to spot it, and how to make sure you don't accidentally spend it on a pack of gum.so. If you've ever had a penny slip between your couch cushions, you might want to start digging. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's the deal. In 1968, pennies were being minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark, which is no big deal. But there's a very rare error where a San Francisco or Denver penny was struck without a mint mark. That's where things get interesting. These error coins weren't supposed to exist, but a few slipped through the cracks. And because they're so rare, collectors are willing to pay a fortune for them. Nobody in 1968 was thinking, oh yeah, let me save this penny because it'll be worth $1 million one day. No, people were too busy listening to the Beatles and trying to figure out how bell-bottoms were considered fashionable. But fast forward to today, and if you have one of these rare error coins in great condition, you might just be holding onto the jackpot. How to identify the $1 million penny? So, how do you know if your 1968 penny is the golden ticket? Here's what to look for. This is the big one. If your penny has an S or D below the date, it's just a regular 1968 penny. But if there's nothing there, keep reading. The sharper the details, the better. If you can see Lincoln's hair strands clearly and the text is crisp, you might have a high-grade coin. Scratches, dents, or heavy wear can lower the value. If your penny looks like it's been through a washing machine 5 times, it's probably not worth millions. If you think you've got a winner, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify its authenticity and assign it a grade, which can skyrocket the value. Alright, let's talk money. The highest recorded auction sale for a 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny hit $1.3 million. That's more than a mansion in some places, for a penny, but let's keep things realistic. Even if yours isn't the $1 million version, it could still be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on the condition. A worn-out version might get you $50 to $100, while a well-preserved one could fetch $10,000 or more. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, just casually browsing, when I saw an old coin jar on a table. The seller was an older gentleman who clearly had no idea what he was sitting on. I asked him how much for the whole jar, and he shrugged. $5. I took it home, poured out the coins, and guess what was sitting there shining like a beacon of hope? A 1968 no-mint mark penny in near-perfect condition. Now, before you get too excited, no, it wasn't the $1 million version. But it was still worth around $3,000. Not bad for a $5 jar of random change, right? He told me he almost gave the jar away for free just to get rid of it. Imagine if he knew what he had. Always check your change. You never know when you might be holding onto a hidden gem, but if you think you've got a rare 1968 no-mint mark penny, here's what you should do next. Compare your penny with verified examples online. Not if you're listing it for sale, high-quality pictures are key. Get it appraised. Coin dealers and grading services can confirm its value. Online auction sites like eBay, heritage auctions, or even local coin shops are great places to sell. Just watch out for lowball offers, that even the smallest, most overlooked coins can be worth a fortune. The next time you get a handful of change, don't just toss it aside, inspect those pennies. Who knows? You might just find your own $1 million treasure. And if you enjoyed this video and want more insider tips on valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I post videos on rare finds, coin collecting tips, and how to spot valuable treasures hiding in plain sight. Also, let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you have a crazy story about a coin that got away? I'd love to hear it. Hey there, coin lovers. Have you ever found a random penny in your pocket and thought, meh, just 1 cent? Well, hold on to your seats because today, we're talking about a 2017 Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yep, that little copper coin in your change jar might just be your golden ticket. Come on, a 2017 penny? That's practically new. How can it be worth so much? Well, my friend, stick around because I'm about to break it all down, the errors, the rare details, and what makes this tiny treasure so insanely valuable. And hey, if you've got a stack of pennies lying around, you might want to start checking them right now. Before we dive in, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, and I got a handful of change back. Normally, I wouldn't even look at it, but that day, I had a weird feeling. I glanced down and saw a super shiny 2017 penny. I almost tossed it in the cup holder, but something made me take a closer look. Fast forward a few Google searches later, and boom, I realized I could have been holding one of the rarest pennies out there. Unfortunately, mine wasn't the one, but that moment changed everything. Now, I check my change religiously, and after today, you will too. First things first, why is a 2017 penny even worth this much? After all, millions of them were minted, so what's the big deal? Well, it all comes down to errors and rare variations. The most valuable 2017 Lincoln pennies have specific mistakes that happened during the minting process, and those errors turn an ordinary 1-cent coin into a millionaire's dream. Here are some of the key things to look for. This is when the design on the coin is slightly doubled, making the text or Lincoln's face look a little blurry or shadowed. If you see extra thickness on Liberty or In God We Trust, you might have hit the jackpot. Sometimes, a coin is struck off-center, meaning part of the design is missing or looks misaligned. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Some off-center 2017 pennies have sold for thousands of dollars. A cut is when part of the coin's design has extra metal from a damaged die. These errors can make a simple penny incredibly rare and valuable. If your penny has strange bumps or cracks in the design, don't ignore it. Some 2017 D pennies were accidentally struck on a dime planchet, making them thinner, lighter, and completely unique. If your penny feels or looks off, get it checked. Now, let's talk about the big sale. One of these error coins sold at auction for $1.4 million. Imagine turning a single penny into life-changing money. That's why coin collecting is so exciting. Sometimes, the rarest treasures are hiding in plain sight. So, now you're probably digging through your couch cushions, right? Well, here's how to check if you have a valuable 2017 D penny. Seriously, even a cheap one will help you see tiny errors that the naked eye might miss. A regular penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If yours is significantly lighter or heavier, it might be an error coin. Look up images of known rare 2017 D errors online and compare them to your penny. If you spot something unusual, it's time to get an expert opinion. If you think you have something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can officially authenticate your coin and tell you how much it's worth. Conclusion: so, next time you get change at the store, check your pennies. That little copper coin could be worth a life-changing amount of money. And hey, even if you don't find a $1 million penny right away, the thrill of the hunt is totally worth it. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post regularly about rare finds, coin collecting strategies, and how to turn your pocket change into serious cash. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a valuable coin in your change? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey, what's up, coin lovers? Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, it's just a penny, not even worth bending down for? Well, you might want to rethink that. Because today, we're talking about a single 2004 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.50 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny, worth more than a luxury car, a house, or even your student loans, and let's be honest, that's saying something. So, how does an ordinary-looking penny end up being worth a fortune? Is it magic? A government secret? Or just pure luck? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be running to your coin jar with a magnifying glass. And make sure to hit that subscribe button because I'll be dropping more money-making coin secrets that could turn your spare change into serious cash. Alright, let's get into it. A while back, I was at a flea market, digging through an old tin of coins, because that's what coin nerds like me do, and this guy next to me picks up a penny. Just a regular old 2004 penny, no shine, no special markings, and he goes, "Man, not worth anything." He tosses it back like it's a piece of lint. Little did he know, if it had been a rare error variety, he could have been sitting on a life-changing payday. And that, my friends, is why you always check your change. Alright, so let's talk about what makes the 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny such a big deal. Normally, a 2004 penny would have either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. But some coins slip through the cracks with no mint mark at all, making them incredibly rare now. What really sets some of these pennies apart isn't just the missing mint mark, it's also about errors. Some of these valuable pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, which means they don't have the usual copper zinc composition. Instead, they were struck on silver-colored planchets, which were never meant for pennies. These mistakes happen when planchets from other coins, like dimes or foreign currency, accidentally get mixed in during the minting process. And when that happens, you get a super rare, highly collectible coin that can sell for insane amounts at auction. Alright, so now you're probably thinking, okay, but how do I know if I have one of these golden tickets in my piggy bank? First things first, flip your penny over and check under the date. If there's no D or P mint mark, you might be onto something. If your penny looks a little too shiny or has a silver or darker tone, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. That's a huge red flag, or green flag, if you're thinking about the money. A normal 2004 penny weighs 2.5 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, that's another sign that it could be an error coin. You'll need a digital scale for this, and trust me, it's worth the $10 investment. Some of these rare pennies also have doubling on the letters or Lincoln's face. If you see any blurry or doubled details, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. The 2004 no-mint Mark penny in pristine condition with these rare errors was auctioned for a whopping $1.5 million. The reason? Well, collectors go nuts over these kinds of mistakes. They're willing to shell out ridiculous amounts of money for a one-of-a-kind coin. That if only a few of these exist in the world, and you happen to own one, you basically have a tiny treasure in your hands. And trust me, when two rich collectors want the same coin, prices skyrocket faster than gas prices in the summer. Could you be holding onto a $1 million penny right now? If you've got any 2004 pennies lying around, go check them. Look for that missing mint mark, weigh them, and if you spot anything unusual, you might be sitting on a small fortune. And hey, even if your penny isn't worth $1 million, it's still fun to search. Who knows? Maybe you'll stumble upon another rare coin along the way. If you found this video helpful, or if you're already digging through your couch cushions, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want more tips on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and ways to turn spare change into serious cash, subscribe to the channel. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change. You're digging through some old change, maybe in your car, under the couch cushions, or in that random kitchen drawer where pennies seem to multiply. You pick up a 1996 Lincoln penny and think, it's just a penny. But hold on. What if I told you that this very coin could be worth up to $1.6 million? Yep, you heard me right, $1.6 million for a single penny. Now, before you start flipping over every penny you own, let's dive into what makes this 1996 Lincoln penny so valuable, what errors or features to look for, and how you can cash in if you hit the jackpot. Trust me, you won't want to miss this, so stick around. Alright, so the 1996 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D mint mark under the date. Now, normally, these pennies aren't rare. In fact, the US Mint cranked out over 6.5 billion of them. That's billion with a B. So what makes some of them worth more than, well, a penny? It all comes down to rare errors, unique features, and pristine condition. What to look for? Some 1996 pennies have rare minting mistakes that make collectors go wild. Let's talk about a few. This happens when the design is accidentally stamped twice, making parts of Lincoln's face, the lettering, or even the date look blurry or doubled. If you spot this, you might be holding a goldmine. Some 1996 pennies were struck off-center, meaning the design is misaligned. The more extreme the error, the more valuable the coin. Imagine a penny being accidentally struck on a dime's planchet, the metal disc used to make coins. This mistake makes the penny weigh less than normal and look a little odd. If you find one, congratulations, you're in for a payday. Even if your 1996 penny doesn't have errors, it could still be worth thousands if it's in near-perfect condition. Coins graded MS67 or higher, that's mint state, folks, sell for insane amounts at auctions. And now, let's get to the juicy part. Why are some 1996 pennies fetching insane prices? The truth is, while most 1996 pennies are only worth face value, a few have sold for mind-blowing amounts. In a recent auction, one pristine, error-laden 1996 penny shocked collectors by selling for $1.60 million. Someone probably used this coin to buy gum or tossed it into a wishing fountain, not realizing it could buy them a mansion. Life's funny like that, and that's why coin collecting is so fascinating. Hidden treasures are everywhere. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale and picked up a dusty old coin album for $5. I figured, why not? Maybe there's something cool inside. When I got home, I flipped through the pages and boom, there it was, a 1996 penny with a weird doubling effect on Lincoln's face. My heart started racing. Could this be the big one? I rushed to a coin dealer faster than I've ever moved in my life. The guy examined it, squinted, and said, it's interesting, but not the rare one. My dreams of retiring early were crushed, but he did offer me $50 for it, which isn't bad for a penny I technically got for a few cents. Moral of the story? Always check your change. Alright, folks, now that you know what to look for, go dig through your pennies. Check for those errors, see if you have one in mint condition, and who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it, and if you don't find a rare one, don't worry, coin hunting is just as much about the thrill as it is about the payday. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos on rare and valuable coins. I've got plenty more tips coming your way on coins that could change your life. Also, if you've ever found a valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey there, coin lovers. Imagine this, you're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find some spare change for a coffee. Instead, you pull out a regular OL penny only to realize that this tiny copper coin could be worth $1.70 million. Yeah, you heard that right. That's not just coffee money, that's buy a house money. Today, we're diving into the 2060 Lincoln penny and why it's got collectors going absolutely crazy. Is it a rare error? A minting mistake? Or just pure luck? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be checking every penny in your pocket. And hey, if you love finding money where you least expect it, hit that subscribe button for more coin hunting tips. So, what makes the 2060 Lincoln penny so special? I mean, it looks like any other penny, right? Same old Honest Abe staring off into the distance, same reverse with the Lincoln Memorial. But there's something sneaky about this particular coin that sets it apart. The D on this penny means it was minted in Denver. But here's where it gets interesting, some of these pennies were struck with a unique die error. This means the coin has tiny imperfections that make it one of a kind. And when it comes to rare coins, one of a kind means big bucks. Double dies, off-center strikes, missing details. Think of it like baseball cards. Sure, regular ones are cool, but if you find one with a misprint, suddenly, it's worth a fortune. Now, let's talk about that jaw-dropping price tag. A rare 2060 penny was recently valued at $1.7 million at auction. Imagine trying to pay for a pack of gum with a penny and the cashier just stares at you like, dude, you just handed me a Lambo. So why is this penny so valuable? It all comes down to demand and rarity. Only a few of these error pennies exist, and serious collectors are willing to shell out crazy amounts of money just to get their hands on one. Alright, so you're probably wondering, how do I know if my 2060 penny is worth millions? Good question. Here's what to look for. Do the details on Lincoln's face seem extra bold or doubled? That could be a double die error. Off-center strikes. If the design looks shifted or off balance, you might be onto something big. Weird coloring or weight. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong metal, making them way more valuable. And don't worry if you don't have a magnifying glass, just use your phone camera and zoom in. Technology for the win. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found an old jar of pennies in my grandma's attic. She told me, they're just pennies, don't waste your time. But I was curious. I started looking through them, and guess what? I found a 1972 double die penny worth $600. Not quite $1 million, but hey, that was the easiest money I ever made. Checking your spare change is worth it. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. Alright, folks, let's wrap this up. The 2060 Lincoln penny might just be sitting in your piggy bank, waiting to change your life. If you've got one, check it closely, because that tiny coin might just be your ticket to a small fortune. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I've got tons more coin hunting tips, rare finds, and ways to turn your pocket change into serious cash now. Go check your pennies, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin. Hey, coin hunters! Ever found a penny on the ground and thought, meh, just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one little penny could be worth $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about the 1978 D Lincoln penny. Yes, the one you probably ignored, tossed in a jar, or used to scratch a lottery ticket. Turns out, that tiny copper coin might just be your winning ticket. Now, before you start dumping out your piggy bank and flipping over couch cushions, let's dive into what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why people are paying ridiculous amounts of money for it. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Alright, let's break it down. The 1978 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. You can tell by the little D right below the year. At first glance, it looks like any other penny. It's got Honest Abe chilling on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, nothing too fancy, right? But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies were struck with rare errors, special die varieties, or even unusual metal compositions that make collectors go wild. And when coin collectors get wild, prices skyrocket. We're talking auctions where people bid more money than my car is worth on a single penny. What to look for in your 1978 D penny. So, how do you know if you've got one of these jackpot pennies? Here's what you need to check. Some 1978 D pennies have doubling on the lettering or even Abe's face. If your penny looks like Lincoln had a little too much coffee and started vibrating in place, congratulations, you might have a rare double die penny. If the design looks off balance or part of it is missing, that's an error coin. And error coins equals big bucks. Here's a crazy fact, most pennies from 1978 are made of copper, but a few were accidentally struck on nickel or silver planchets. If your penny doesn't look like a normal copper penny, it's time to get it checked out. A 1978 D penny in pristine, shiny condition can be worth thousands. A regular one might only get you face value, but hey, still better than nothing. Now, let's talk numbers. A standard 1978 D penny in circulated condition? Probably a few cents. But if you find one with rare errors or in mint condition, it could be worth anywhere from a few $100s to get this $1.8 million. Well, high-grade coins with perfect details are super rare. Add in a cool minting mistake, and collectors go into full-on treasure hunting mode. Just recently, one of these coins sold at auction for a jaw-dropping 7 figures. Imagine paying off your house with a penny. Alright, time for a quick story. A few years back, I found a 1978 D penny in an old jar of coins. I got all excited, grabbed my magnifying glass, and started inspecting it like Sherlock Holmes. Turns out, it was just a regular penny. Heartbreaking, but that moment got me hooked on coin collecting. I started researching, checking every penny I came across, and eventually, I found a different rare coin worth over $500. Not a million, but hey, not bad for something I got as change at a gas station. Moral of the story? Always check your pennies, because you never know, so next time you see a penny on the ground, don't just walk past it. That tiny little coin could be a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. The 1978 D Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. And now, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and crazy coin stories coming your way. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story.